I wrote a poem on growing old because I like growing old. I'm lucky that I like growing old because I'm going to grow old anyway. I'm already too old to be a beautiful corpse, any of that kind of crap. You know how people used to say that in the 60s, you know, I want to die when I'm young and be a beautiful corpse. First of all, corpses are not really beautiful. And secondly, we have all passed that. We're already middle-aged, and there's nothing as tacky as a middle-aged corpse, you know. Who wants to do that? I wrote a poem on growing old because I think it's a nice thing to do. It's called The Life I Led. It's a persona poem. I know my upper arms will grow flabby. It's true of all the women in my family. I know that the purple veins, like dead fish in the cyan, will dot my legs one day. And my hands will wither while my hair turns grayish white. I know that. One day my teeth will move when my lips smile, and a flutter of hair will appear below my nose. I hope my skin doesn't change to those blotchy colors. I want my menses to be undifficult. I'd very much prefer staying firm and slim, to grow old like a vintage wine, fermenting in old wooden vats with style. I'd like to be exquisite, I think. I will look forward to grandchildren and my flowers, all my knickknacks in their places, and that quiet of the bombs not falling in Cambodia, settling over my sagging breast. I hope my shoulder finds a head that needs nestling, and my feet find a footstool after a good soaking with Epsom salts. I hope I die warmed by the life that I tried to live. I think that the only thing that's changed since Martin Luther King, since 54, I think the only thing that's really changed is the black woman. And what she said...
No, I don't think she's changed. I think she's become more visible.
I think she's changed. Because there was a time, let's say my mother, you know what I mean, my aunts and things like that, they would say, okay, if that's the way you establish your manhood, I'm going to go for it. And my generation says, hey, no good.
Okay.
You must establish a new base.
I'll agree with that.
And we are, as a group, demanding that a new base be established.
Yeah, but be careful as a woman and what you demand of a man.
I demand that he be a man.
Yeah, but you can't
because
say,
the provision part.
Yeah, but you can't say you demand it. You have to suggest it.
Well, that's your ego that says that. No, I demand it. Now you deal with that.
All right. Okay. I'll even go with that.
I demand that you be a man, and I don't think that that's asking too much. Because if I wanted a provision, you understand, I would get a camper. You know what I mean? I would get a camper that provides things. You know what I mean? You get an army surplus kit that provides things. I need a man. And black men have always been offered to provisions. People are either going to eat or starve to death. You know, the men of Biafra, the people were starving and they were still the men. Had to be that way. Through that horrendous kind of war. But it had to be that way because sometimes you're not able to feed your family. Sometimes you're not able to clothe your family. Do you then also deprive them of your manhood and of the input that a man has? Who teaches my son how to pee?
Yeah, but
you see?
Yeah, but you're talking. I agree with you. I see that very well. But it's one thing to be in a situation where you see a future, however bloody, and to be in a situation where you see no future at all.
But you are. It is incumbent.
If I know
see a future.
If I know what I'm demanding of you, in some sense, makes sense. If I know the fact the kid is not eating today or tonight or tomorrow, in some way makes sense. Yeah, then I can be there. But if it doesn't make any sense, and if I don't see anything coming out of it at all...
Will he eat if you're not there?
If you're on welfare, he won't eat if I am there. That's the law. But I don't want to get bogged down into that. What I really mean is that, yes, a man can do that if he sees a way, if he sees that it means something. My father couldn't see that. And he was quite right. Because there wasn't anything.
There's something. Because all I know that works in the world is a relationship.
Yes, all right.
Okay, that's all that's going to work. It takes two people to have a relationship.
Yeah, but the relationship...
If you don't have a dream, fake it.
But the relationship, you can't fake a dream.
You got to fake it, because we don't have dreams these days. How the hell can you have a dream? For what?
Well, it isn't...
So everybody's jiving, but let's jive on that level.
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. What Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course you'll lie to me, because I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the way I treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell because I love you. I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man? For 10 years, so that we can get a child on his feet that says, yeah, father smiled at mother. He talked to me about school today. Who cares that you can read or can't read? Most Americans can't read. Most people can't read. They look at the pictures.
Baby, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying, and I don't disagree, but no, I'm gonna be honest and think about it really. I'm not so sure that is a human possibility. If I have to smile all day at the cat on the job, at the foreman, you don't understand why I'm smiling. Mm-hmm. Not because I want to smile, I'm smiling because baby needs new shoes. I can't give a performance all day on the job and come home and give a performance all night in the house.
Okay, so one of the performances will stop.
Yes. So you say, and okay, I might be willing to go with it, but who's going to pay the rent?
The rent will get paid.
Look, baby, I'm willing to play it your way, but you have to see my point of view.
I see your point of view, but the rent will have to get paid.
The price of the rent is my smile.
No. I don't want you prostituting yourself. I demand.
I don't want you prostituting yourself either. One of us has got to work.
You will work it out because you are intelligent enough and you are sensitive enough. You are a man enough to work out a new system because we started off with everybody's protest novel and we're back there again. As long as the assumptions are the same, nothing will change.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we must corner ourselves to make a new assumption.
Okay, I buy it.
In case it was sort of like left up in the air or somebody, like I didn't get it across. I really think that my father, Jones Giovanni, is a groovy cat, and he's lived with my mother now for 35 years under holy wedlock, and I think that that's good for them. I think that sort of thing worked for them. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's the main thing that they were able to love despite it all.
That's what we were talking about before.
Right, exactly.
And you, by the way, you do not have to tell me that you love your father. I knew that.
Yeah, I think he's a gas.
Yes,
I just don't want to marry him.
The poem that definitely made people pay attention somewhat to my career, and you can't really overthink that. I mean, nobody really listens to me, really. I knew some of these people, but nobody listened. If they had listened to me, none of this shit would be happening. Nobody listened to me. But, you have to know where you are and all of this. But I wrote a poem called Ego Tripping. And I really loved it because my mother's a jazz fan. And I think I know probably most crooks. I know quite a few, and quite a few murderers. And, well, somebody got to know them. But that's true. But when I did my third book, it was called Black Judgment. And I went to see a man called Harold Logan. Most of you probably don't know Harold Logan, but you do know Capone. You do know the Godfather. You know all of that. Well, you didn't see the black people in that, but there were black people, and Harold Logan was one of them. And I went to see Mr. Logan because I wanted the club. I wanted the jazz club that he had. It's called Birdland. And so I thought, well, all he can say is no. So I went down to see him, and Mr. Logan, how are you? I'm Nikki Giovanni. I write poetry. So, Logan is looking at me like, Ann. I said, I'd like to have your club, because in New York, the clubs are closed on Sunday. I said, I'd like to have Birdland on Sunday to have a poetry reading. And Logan is looking at me, and he says, and what do I get? I said, well, Mr. Logan, what do you need? Let's work this one out. And he said, well, bring me 100 people, and you can have it for free. 99 people, and you'll owe me $500. I said, it works for me. Because, you wanted your mother to be proud of you, and I thought, hell, I can get anybody can get 100 people to do any damn thing. That's the truth. You stand on a corner, you can get 100 people to do something. And so I started doing that. And that Sunday that we're going to have a reading, that Sunday, Birdland is here, and the New York Times is there, for those of you who know New York. So the New York Times actually is looking down, and what they started to see about 3 o'clock is people coming, and people coming, and people coming. And it was a mixed group, but it's mostly a lot of black people. So what they were concerned about, speaking of fear, is what are all of these black people, and I'm sure they had another word for that, doing there? What are they doing? And so they sent a reporter down, and the reporter said to the people, because we're turning the corner, what are you doing there? And the people said, black judgment is coming. So you can see how that's going to go, right? And the reporter came out and said, I'm looking for Nick Giovanni. I'm looking for Nick Giovanni. And I was standing there and said, I'm Nikki Giovanni. No, where is he? I'm looking for Nick Giovanni. I just thought either he'll learn or he won't. Didn't matter to me. But we had the reading. It was really nice. My mother was very proud. And one of the things that I was excited, of course, about was a couple of the poems, and they had some good poems. And what we got was the second, for those of you who read the New York Times, we got the second news front. And they put, for the first time, a poem, and they put this poem, and I wanted to share it with you. I was born in the Congo. I walked to the Fertile Crescent and built the Sphinx. I designed a pyramid so tough that a star that only glows every 100 years falls into the center, giving divine, perfect light. I'm bad. I sat on the throne drinking nectar with Allah. I got hot and sent an ice age to Europe to cool my thirst. My oldest daughter is Nefertiti. The tears from my birth pains created the Nile. I am a beautiful woman. I gazed on the forest and burned out the Sahara Desert. With a packet of goat's meat and a change of clothes, I crossed it in 2 hours. I'm a gazelle. So swift, you can't catch me. For a birthday present when he was 3, I gave my son Hannibal an elephant. He gave me Rome for Mother's Day. My strength flows ever on. My son Noah built Newark, and I stood proudly at the helm as we sailed on a soft summer day. I turned myself into myself and was Jesus. Men intoned my loving name. All praises, I am the one who would save. I sowed diamonds in my backyard. My bowels deliver uranium. The filings from my fingernails are semi-precious jewels. On a trip north, I caught a cold and blew my nose, giving oil to the Arab world. I am so hip, even my errors are correct. I sailed west to reach east and had to round off the earth as I went. The hair from my head thin, and gold was laid across 3 continents. I am so perfect, so divine, so ethereal, so surreal, I cannot be comprehended except by my permission. I mean, I can fly like a bird in the sky.